Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the homework for lesson 6-4. Now guys, for those of you that haven't seen these videos before, just keep in mind, oh gosh! And we're back. I'm sorry, things like this are going to happen in my videos. It's just the way of the world. Alright, an arrow is shot in the air, following the path of the equation negative 16t squared plus 128t plus 120. Where y is the height of the arrow above the ground in feet and t is the time in seconds. Okay, so after 2 seconds, what is the height of the arrow? If I want to know the height of an arrow after a certain amount of seconds, all you do is plug in the time. So you're going to plug in 2 wherever you see t. So we're going to have my height is equal to negative 16 times 2 squared plus 128 times 2 plus 120. And 1 second, we'll get that answer. And I got 312 feet. So after 2 seconds, we will be at 312 feet above the ground. Hopefully that makes sense. Just plug it in your calc. Now, just a little disclaimer, what I was going to say before the phone rang. Guys, oh my God, there's somebody at my front door. When you're doing these problems, make sure that you're not just cutting through to the answer. You're not going to learn by just copying stuff down, okay? If you really don't know how to do something, just watch. This video isn't going to be that long. We're at 1 minute and 46 seconds. What is the initial height of the arrow? The initial height is always the constant. It's the constant. So what is the constant in this? What's our constant here? Well, it's 120. This number on the end is always where we're starting, so the initial height is 120 feet. 120 feet above the ground. Okay. After how many seconds will the arrow reach its maximum height? So whenever I'm talking about the maximum, I'm referring to the vertex. The time of the maximum, time of max, we're going to use the axis of symmetry. All right, and that formula is x equals negative b over 2a. I will give you this formula always, okay? So we have x is equal to negative b, 128, whoops, over 2 times negative 16. So what this is asking is, after how many seconds will the arrow reach its max height? We're going to be doing negative 128 divided by negative 32. And we're going to get that number real quick. And the answer is 4 seconds. After 4 seconds. So, time of maximum height is always going to be the axis of symmetry. You use this formula. You see maximum height, but they ask for the time. You get your axis of symmetry first. Now, that brings you to this next part. What is the maximum height of the arrow? All right, now before, we found the height after 2 seconds. But now we know that at 4 seconds, we're reaching our maximum height. So we want the height when t is equal to 4. So what's the height when t is equal to 4? Plug it in. So wherever you see t, you're going to plug in a 4. Okay, so I have my 4 going here, 4 going there. We'll get that answer in a second. You put this in your calc. And I get 376 feet. This is my maximum height, and 4 seconds is the time of the maximum height. Right, so first you need to find the time of the max height before you can find the max height. And now here, after how many seconds will the arrow hit the ground? Remember, ground, roots. So if we want the roots, we're going to use the quad formula or we're going to factor. This is your formula. So x is equal to negative b. So this is negative b is 128 plus or minus the square root of 128 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 120 all over 2 times negative 16. Okay? So that's going to be negative 128 plus or minus something, negative 32 in the bottom. So we've got to figure out what this situation is, and I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so this number is going to be 24,064. All right, so now this is the tricky part. You're just dividing it into two things. Actually, this isn't tricky at all. This is pretty easy. All right, this is what you have. Don't simplify the radicals. You have two answers. Your first one is the one with the plus. Negative 128 plus the square root of this divided by negative 32. And this is your negative. Your minus, rather, excuse me. So we're going to get an approximation for this one first. We're going to do the top first and then divide by negative 32. And I got something like approximately 0.8 seconds. Now, can we have negative seconds? No. So this is going to be rejected. Reject. And over here, we're going to get that answer. And this one's approximately 5.2 seconds. So that's what we're going to take. This one right here. Okay? So the ball, or whatever, this arrow is going to hit the ground at 5.2 seconds. All right, so we did the first one. The next one is exactly the same. Okay? So let's even look at it. Literally the exact same thing. What's the initial height? After how many seconds will the ball reach the maximum height? What is the maximum height of the ball? And after how many seconds will the ball hit the ground? Same thing. So you follow these steps here to get your answers for number 2. Woo! Yeah, all right. So that's how we're going to end the video. Take care. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.